Hello soulmates, welcome to class. In this class we'll be drafting our basic bodice block. There are some basic measurements which we need for this, and that includes our shoulder measurement, our bust circumference, our shoulder to nipple point, our nipple point to nipple point measurement, our shoulder to under bust measurement, our half length, both front and back, and then we need our waist circumference. If you still have issue with taking accurate body measurements, please you can go back to our previous video on measurement taking. I have a video on accurate measurement taking already. So on this paper here, I have just a border line already, which is 1 inch on both sides. This is just to create a starting point, and then the next thing is for us to start with our bust measurement. We'll pick our bust measurement, and the bust we are working with is bust 33. Now we are going to divide this 33 into 2 again, and that will give us 16.5. This 16.5 will also add 2 inches extra to it. This is just for ease on the paper so that our pattern don't run into each other for the front and back, and that will give us 18.5. So I'll go ahead and mark that 18.5. Now this is our 18.5 inches mark. Now we're further going to divide this 18.5 into 2 again, and that will give us 9.25. Now the reason behind this division is that it is believed that in biology that the human body is divided into 2 equal halves using the bilateral symmetry. So we are picking 1/2 of the human body, which consists half of the front and half of the back. So if we assume that this 18.5 now is half of the human body, we now have to further divide it into 2 again, so that we have half for the front, which will represent the 2 sides for the front, and half of the back, which will represent the 2 sides of the back. So 18.5 divided by 2 will give us 9.25. I'll also mark this, and then when I come back, we'll mark our half length, both front and back, and then we continue in the drafting. Alright, I've gone to draw to divide this our box into 2, and then we have, and I've also gone ahead to mark our half length. Now our center back half length is 14 inches, and our front half length is 16 inches. In our previous video, I explained to us that our front half length and our back half length are not the same. So that's why we have our back length to be 14 and our front length to be 16. Now we start with the drafting proper. Our shoulder measurement is 13 inches. Now 13 inches divided by 2 will give us 6.5. Mark it on both sides of the paper. 6.5. And then our shoulder slope. Now shoulder slope for front is 1.5 inches standard. Shoulder slope for front is 1.5 inches. And then we have for our back to be 1 inch standard also. And then we're going to mark neckline. We're going to work with neckline of 3 by 3. Now there's a standard measurement, there's a standard formula for calculating your neckline. You can do your bust measurement divided by 12 inches. That will give you your accurate neckline measurement. And then likewise you do the same thing for the back also, which is now your neckline, the width is always the same but the depth differs, and our back depth is 1 inch. And then you just go ahead and connect that like this, and then you mark your, connect it to your shoulder slope. Now after we have done this, the next thing is for us to impute our chest line. Now to get our chest line, the formula is your bust divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. That's the formula for calculating the chest line. Now going by the formula for calculating our chest line, our bust is 33 divided by 6 plus 1.5. So we have 5.5 plus 1.5, and that will give us 7 inches. Now your 7 inches is usually entered from your back shoulder slope. This is our shoulder slope, and we have it to be 1 inch. Now your 7 inches is to be entered from there. Now since our front shoulder slope is 1.5 inches and we have 1 inch for the back, and our chest line is supposed to run across this, what I will advise us to do is just add, since we have one starting point, the same starting point for both front and back, I will advise to just add back this 1 inch to the 7 inches we have, and that will give us 8 inches. If you add it back like this, it becomes 8 inches, and our chest line is, so that we can be able to mark our chest line straight on the same line like this. So we have our chest line there. And root. Next is to impute our shoulder to nipple point, and we have that to be 9.5 inches. Dear soulmates, please do make sure you work with your own accurate measurement. Use your own measurement to practice this. And then this is our shoulder to bust point. You can either use bust point, you can either call it bust point or you call it nipple point. Next will be our shoulder to under bust measurement, and our shoulder to under bust is 13 inches. Now this is 13 inches. So right now we have all our lines ruled. We have our chest line, we have our shoulder to bust point, we have our shoulder to under bust, and we have our shoulder to waistline. The back is just 2 lines, shoulder to chest line, shoulder to waistline. So since we have that sorted out, the next thing is for us to create our armhole curve. And we do that, how we do that is your shoulder measurement, just bring down your shoulder measurement on your chest line for both front and back.